From Pattaya, Thailand, with your host, Dave D. Join us weekdays. Check out all the latest updates on talkingheads-podcast.com.
And welcome to Pattaya, welcome to Thailand, and of course, welcome to nice, I'd say sunny outside, and it's hot in the studio because we've got three hot guys in the studio today. Well, so you say, anyway. And Bobby. Bobby Price, I mean, he's down there at the end at the mission control. Welcome to the show again.
Thank you. It's always great to be here.
Nice to have you. It's nice to vent.
Nice to see you.
We're venting everything today. This is our release day today. In the studio, as per normal, of course, right opposite me, of course, Darren and Garry. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Nice. Enjoying it so far on this journey, yeah?
Love it, mate.
Good. We're getting some great reports on you.
Makes a change.
It's from your parole officer.
I would say it won't be from Google.
And what can we say in the studio? We are graced, of course, by Brian Maxey. Welcome to the studio.
Oh, thank you very much.
And of course,
glad to be here.
And you're the expat. What are you? You're the expat
Vice President.
Vice President.
Oh yes.
That's
very recently.
The VP.
Yes.
So
VP.
Okay, Brian. Can we start with Brian, and everybody can chip in where you want to. Okay, let's open the table up to the microphones. Of course, Brian's here. It's his first time in the studio, so he's a virgin. We're gonna say welcome, virgin. And what about the Expat Club? I mean, it's been going in Pattaya for how long, and when did it start?
Right, back in 2001, a couple of guys, both foreigners from here, obviously, were in the habit of meeting up and having breakfast. I don't know how often, but anyway. But they'd both been here a while. And so the situation was that they would talk and people would overhear them in the restaurant and then start asking questions. You've been here a while. How do you do this? You know, what happened? You know, where can I find a driving license or a bit of beautiful girl?
Everything's solved normally around a bar stool, isn't it?
So, correct. Yeah.
Used to be.
But this was a restaurant. Now, the difference between these two guys was one was an IT guy, and this was way back in 2001, but he had worked in the US. He was a Brit guy, but he had worked in the US. The other was a Danish guy, and he wanted to be a businessman here. But they both wanted to do very little in Thailand and relax. So that's how it started. And eventually, some people that were listening, we would say something like, "Can I bring my friend along next week and ask some questions? You know, how to do this?"
So two became a group.
So two became a group, and then they found they needed more seats, and so it happened. 2002 was when it kind of formalised a bit. One of the people in the group said, "We could do something with this, you know." And the IT guy said, "Well, I know how to get it onto the internet and do that sort of stuff." And the other guy said, "Well, I know how to run a business." So that's how it all started.
What about like with Darren, who's come into it again? I mean, we'll come to you in a second. As you was there. How long you came in at the beginning, didn't you? Near the beginning.
2005.
2005. So I mean, Darren is he's got a vast array of acknowledgement when it comes to visas and that. But I mean, what about the knowledge that's in the Expat Club then and today? Right. I mean, how do you know that knowledge and what people are saying is the truth, or it is what it is? Is it not just people just talking, or background?
We all know about the barroom lawyers.
Yes.
Which is what you're hinting at, obviously.
Yeah, and the SAS attendants, yeah.
Oh, yes, yeah. Well, we turn those into security, of course, outside. What you do is, I always say to the people, you're the experts, not me on stage.
Yeah.
But I've learned so much over these 18 years that I've been doing it. It's unbelievable. All the videos, all the visa stuff, I clear with him, of course.
Yeah, sure.
It all comes his way. But if you hear it 5 times from 5 people that don't look as though they're in a group, it's probably true.
Yeah, sure.
And if it isn't, you can always apologise later.
I mean, when it comes to, I mean, Bobby, how many times have you been now, Bobby? Twice now?
I've been one time.
One time, and I've been a few times now. Yeah. I wish that I'd gone earlier. I really do wish that I'd joined earlier and gone earlier and everything. I didn't join until he said he was going to pay for it, so that I had to wait. So
not forgot about that.
Yeah. Me and Bobby's not forgot about that.
No.
And I have to say that on your first visit, I learned something when you told your insurance story.
Yeah, I mean, the insurance story is, and since that, actually, I mean, when I went to the Expat Club, as you know, Darren and guys and Bobby, I was so I liked the information that was on the stage. I love that, yeah. But what I did really like was the question and answers, the open mic.
Open
forum,
which I think is really, really, it's really informative,
Get
isn't
to
it?
hear everybody's needs, what the community wants and what they,
I like it because somebody stands up at one side of the room and it says, it's 24,000 baht. And by the time it's gone round the room and it's come back to you, you get it for 950.
And back in the days of the 2002, 3, 4 or whatever it was starting, it was all information from the stage because there really was no Mr. Google to find this out, So we started off as an information business and I was the MC right from those early days. So that's how I learned, by literally having a script of all the stuff I'd looked up or heard or whatever, But over the years, it's changed. The information is now on the computer, but there's a million versions of it.
There is, as we know, as we know. Exactly. I mean, what about when it comes to like working in Thailand and all these kind of things? I mean, where are the sources now that you find? Do you have people that are dedicated to that, or do you look on the internet? Different with Darren, I know, because he's really up on his visa stuff and he's got all his contacts. But what about the other information that you say you've learned over the years? Is that just from Google? Is it from?
It's mostly from people. Somebody asks a question, I either say I don't know or give my version, and then, as you say, somebody chips in and says, "Oh no, you can't," up here and so and so. But I had to learn a lot in the early days that I came to live here, which was in 2000, because I tried to live up country in Isan, and I thought it was great for 3 or 4 days.
It is.
And then
you lasted that long?
No, I did 6 months. I actually did 6 months. And I finally said, I'm going down to Bangkok for a week.
That's not a holiday, that's porridge, you know that, don't you?
It was the snakes in the bed he didn't like.
But the other thing was, the people I met up there, because there are people, they just hide, and they're probably up there hiding because they want to hide, but you get to know them eventually when they come out of the woodwork. That's where you learn a lot from, because they've been there a long time, and I was a newbie, so, you're like a sponge.
Is there such a thing with the Expat Club? I mean, you guys know a lot better than I do, where you walk in and you actually speak to some Thai people that are sitting behind a desk who can tell you what's happening? Does that exist? Like if you want direct information on something, can you go and see them? Because I was listening to some guys on the internet and reading about getting a driving license, which we can talk about in a minute. And we were talking that mine's out now, out the 5-year period. You get the 6 months grace to change it and all that. And everybody said, I got there at 8 o'clock and I was there for 2 days and blah, blah, blah. But then when I was at the Expat Club, I got there at 7:30 and I was away for 9:30.
Right.
So, I mean, what do you believe?
Well, I last went at 1:15 with my wife, Thai. She went up the stairs first and I sat down. She came down and said, like they do. Up I went. She said, that girl. So I spoke to the girl, and I was going for a date, not with the girl, but for the license.
Is this today?
No, this was last week.
Okay.
2 weeks ago. So I had all the papers, both sets, because of motorbike and car. So I gave them to her. But just before that happened, the guy in front of me, taller than me, bigger built, was saying in a very loud voice, I've been here 2 hours and you...
Yeah. Well, you don't want to be doing that.
I moved back, and so did all the people behind me, and we waited. When she finally said to him, come back in January...
Yep, good on her.
I thought, I came forward, spoke a little bit of Thai, somebody cup, all this sort of stuff, gave it to her, and she said, and she looked up and she smiled, she actually smiled, she said, lots of paper, and she went through it, don't need that. But, are you busy? And I said, busy? She said, do you want to do it now? And I said, yeah. And I did it then.
Calm down.
Because
the guy in front of me was January.
He deserves that.
Yes.
You start shouting and raving at these people, they're just going to go, see you next week.
But here's the tip.
The truth,
And I think this is true. I didn't check it out with anybody. When they give you a date, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they're the 3 dates that you go in a week for the Falang.
Okay.
I happened to go on a Tuesday, quite by chance. There probably wasn't enough Thais to fill the afternoon.
Interesting.
So when I went in, there was about 6 Falang in there.
My last 5-year one that I did, the 5-year one before, I actually just walked into the driving centre, walked upstairs, I said, I want new 5 years. She took it off me and she went away and I sat down and I had a coffee. I come back, I signed the paper, I paid her and I left. It was like an hour and a half. I didn't even have any papers. She just took my old driving licence.
But I had everything, and it did take a while. We had to watch the movie, of course.
You still have to do that.
It's a nice movie now. It's got British people in it speaking English.
Oh, that's a hard. Yeah.
Well,
And all those signs on the street that you don't know what they mean, you know.
When I did my driving licence, I made the mistake of going on Christmas Day. I went in the morning because I thought there'd be no phalanx here, you know. I forgot about the tie. I forgot, oh shit, they don't celebrate it. And they were packed with these guys, yeah, full of them. And, you know, I thought, oh shit, because they all wanted the licenses before New Year because they were going home.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so luckily, I'll tell you what, I was lucky. I mean, you know, you go downstairs and then phalanx have got a different queuing system. I had all the paperwork was right, obviously. And I went upstairs and I give it to this young girl, the young girl that sits at the desk. And she said, I've seen you on Sophon cable.
Yeah,
you do the visas, don't you? And I'm like, yeah. I thought this is good inroads. Yeah. She said, go and sit down for an hour and listen to that, and then come and talk to me after. So I did that, and she said, I've got a phalanx boyfriend.
Yes.
She says, I need a settlement visa.
Here we go.
Here's his number. Can you call him?
Yeah.
So I didn't only get my license in an hour, but I got a job from it as well.
Yeah. And she has good English.
And she
really does.
Yeah.
What about now? I mean, talking of today, you've come in now into the expat as what now?
Me, I'm the sales marketing director. Okay. I've been at the club since 2004. Okay. Brian and me have worked on the visa side since then. So if I know something, I'll tell him. If things change, Brian, you know, will ask. He'll make his way to my office just to ask me the question. You know, this is why this guy's the VP, and this is why he was voted in as the VP, because from a mop head to a visa, there ain't nobody more knowledgeable. You know, and I give Brian my vote straight away, and I've been here a long time. And, you know, the be-all and end-all of it is the Expat Club was made, like Brian said rightly, before the smartphones, before Google, before anybody knew anything. This is why I started in the visa game, because when I come from Bangkok and I stayed in Pattaya, all I could hear was people talking about, how do I get this visa, how do I get that visa? That's why I started, you know, that's why I started the job that I do. And I joined the Expat Club, and I remember it was Niels' birthday, okay, and he had it at the... what's that pub called near the Nova?
The Irish pub, yeah.
Yeah. Not Mulligan.
Dices.
No.
Nowhere.
The one at the Nova Hotel.
At the Nova.
Not Shenanigans.
No. A long name. But,
Jameson's.
Jameson's.
Yeah.
Well, Niels was having
Sorry.
I remember it
starts with J, 2 syllables.
You know.
Anyway,
Niels were very active, and he, you know, if he invited me to his birthday party, and he'd seen me at the club, and I remember Brian was sat at the bar. I mean, a joke on his own.
You're not going to tell the story.
I am.
Absolutely.
And I went up to Brian. I said, "Hello, Brian.
There's no censorship here, mate.
I'm Darren with Garry," and he just went, "Okay."
I was trying to sit on my own having a quiet drink, and this guy comes up and leans over the bar and says, "Are you?"
Here we go again. He says. So I said, "Brian," I said, "You know, I know I need permission to help on the visa desk. What do you think?" And I remember him. You actually said, "Oh no. What does this Manchester kid want now, you know? Jesus." So anyway, what happened was I went to the club the week after, and Peter, who was running the visa desk, because they have their own desk there, giving free information on visas every week, okay?
Right.
He was a baker, so he had his own business.
Sure.
So I went up to him, and Brian said, "Well, go and ask Peter's permission, to, you know, if you want to help." So I said, "Great." I said, "Hey, Peter, I'm down, you know, I've got my own business." I said, "Can I help you?" He said, "No." He said, "You can have it." Boom. And do you remember, Brian? Yeah.
I do, exactly.
He took his jacket off and he went.
He was so pleased to be out of it.
And I was like, shit.
Okay, here we go.
But he made good bread. He really did.
He did make good bread.
Peter the Baker, that's what we call it.
What about now? We'll talk about in the old. Let's talk about the olden days first. I mean, how before we had the Google and all that, and you as a club. I mean, how did you just get feedback from your members in those days?
Well, it was all small numbers, of course, in those days. By 2003, we couldn't fill the Green Tree pub on the beach road.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
The inside one. But after that, it was just, I don't know how we got the information. I mean, I turn up with a whole bunch of papers of stuff.
So basically, leaflets and giving out. But I'm just trying to think, you know, word of mouth is going to be, it's got to be evident.
At that time, the Pattaya Mail picked up on us and were advertising us each week.
In 2000, when was this?
2003.
That was, yes.
Or 4, maybe.
2-4.
All right.
Yeah, we did a little bit on it.
Because if you remember, 2-4, all it was cell phone cable.
Yeah, we was on.
That's all it was.
That's right.
And Neil's at the time was advertising the Pattaya Expat Club every day. There was a big segment on it and an interview, and that's what attracted more people.
Yeah, I mean he was strong in his media game then, and of course putting it out there, he promoted as much as he can and did a good job. But but now of course today,
you've probably heard of this idea that if you get a bigger office and more staff, they'll all be busier. Even though that they weren't before. We left the Green Tree because of something to do with food. I mean, it wasn't a problem. They just weren't providing what we wanted. And we went to the Grand Soleil. Now, if you've been in that ballroom, I walked in there the first time and I stood in the middle of the stage. I felt about this big and I thought, I'm going to look a right brat if nobody comes. At first meeting, we had 120 people.
Good.
We'd only had 35 in the
Great
other one. How did the clever guy that we all moan about, do it?
Yeah.
Freebie that day. Never thought of that. And they packed them.
But you know, the old saying is, Brian, and you know yourself, if you give somebody a carrot and they follow and you get them there and you've got an audience, if it's a captive audience, you can make that into an all day, every week audience. So you need something, like you did the other week, you need a carrot. And I think there's a lot of people here. Number one is I think there's a lot of people here, expats, that don't even know you exist.
Absolutely.
I think that's true because I get a lot of emails on Pattaya One now since we've been doing this actually. And since we've been talking about where is it? What is it? How long has it been going, you know?
And don't forget there's 2 of them.
Yeah, but no, we were talking about the Neils and Darren and down at the Amari Hotel, which is now where it is because before it was at the Marseille, was it?
The
Mercure Hotel before. So but now it's at the Amari,
Yeah.
So, I mean, today on your website and that and newsletter, are you guys responsible for that now?
Yep. I do the website newsletter and the visa stuff and all that sort of thing on the website.
And what about the visa stuff for now? I mean, you know, we're gonna at the moment we're in the process of making a brand new expats page on Pattaya One, and I mean, I don't know if you know that. Do you know that? Okay, well, Darren knows. I mean, our traffic is quite a lot. Okay, so we want to do as much as we can to help you guys out there, and we've already had emails about things that have been coming in. So I'm going to ask you a couple of things in a minute, if that's okay. But you okay?
Yeah, I just want to say about the Expat Club. You know, it's not a business. Okay, even though it has to make some money to. You know, in case the computer breaks or, you know, we want to do some charity work or whatever. It's not a hard sell thing, but we need bums on seats for people to come. Now, let me ask you a question, and the people that are watching this. If you live here and you know that every week there's a club that meets that's got every single bit of information known to man about being here, right? Including this guy, a walking computer. Now, why would you not go? You can go there, you can have your breakfast. They've got sponsors outside, including a lawyer, a visa man, hospital.
Well, you would go if you know it's there.
Insurance.
Darren. If you know it's there, you would go.
But this is what I'm saying. You know, in the old days when all there was the TV, it was easier to find people. But now modern technology, you've got to work that a little bit harder.
You've still got. I mean,
people tend to rely on forums and things like that, you know, where there's 354,000 different views on something. So
but forums you can get lost.
What I'm saying is it causes us problems.
Yeah, sure.
You know, so and what I'm saying is, you go to the Expat Club, you're gonna save money. You're not gonna lose money. I mean, it's only 750 baht for a 2-year membership. You know, you buy your breakfast when you get there if you want a breakfast. They've got different speakers on every single week, and they've got an open forum where most people in that room, including Brian and myself and other people, know a lot about a lot because we've been here so long, you know. So you're always going to get a good answer Even if it's,
I think that's the key, and you got to jump in with me. Jump in here. I mean, it's just jump in and say. But my point on this, on all of this, is a lot of people used to sit around bars and restaurants and chat about a lot of things. And you can do this. You can do that. Not knowing the truth. Not knowing that it was real. Sure. They have their version. Yeah. So I believe, and Bobby backs me up on this, because, I mean, he said the same. And that is, you're in a room where you've got a lot of knowledge there, haven't you, Bobby? So, I mean, it's like, we sat there, listened to what you guys go, and he's going, well, I don't know that, and I didn't know that. So it's a good open mic, isn't it?
It's educational for sure.
Absolutely.
It is true that I always make the point of saying to the people, come on, they're the experts, not me. And then you listen to what they say, and then maybe correct a little bit or whatever. But let's also let's not just forget the social side. A lot of people that live here and are retired, they come along there because they meet up with friends that they've known for a long time, and it's not in a bar situation. Not everybody drinks.
Can I ask you a question? I mean, this is going to be probably a yes or a no question, and might be an open eye question. I don't know. It's just off the top of my head. Have you ever done in the club on the Friday? Have you ever done put information on the website about what they could vote for on the Friday, and have a live vote while they're in there?
If it's to do with administrative of the club, no, we don't do that. Obviously.
No, I'm on about
if it's
ideas.
Outside, okay.
I'm on about. So if you put on your website, the Expat Club is planning to do this, or this. For example, we'd like your vote on Friday. You give them a piece of paper, then you've got the three things down, a yes or no, and of course, while the meeting's going on, somebody counts them, and it comes at the end of the meeting, yes, there's 142 for and 37 against. I mean, wouldn't that be a good thing to get everybody in the same room at the same time and sort of vote on something? Would that not be good information?
True, but if you then take a decision on it, all those people that couldn't attend that day because they were out of town, I mean, we haven't done it, and
it's just
it's sure only it would work. To be honest,
I'm not saying it would work. Anyway. It's just I'm just throwing it on the table. Yeah. I mean, like one of the things I've looked at on your website, which I think would be really good to have on there, is a survey. I just think that it would be good to have a survey on there about what people, would you like to see this, or what do you think about this? Even just a survey. It doesn't, not a voting system, but just a survey
of the meeting, or of the website?
Of the meeting, or the current affairs, or the visas, or just something. Yeah. I mean, I feel as though when you have an open mic discussion at the Expat Club, there is some people there that daren't stand up and daren't say anything and daren't hold a mic in their hands.
Oh, that's the natural fear, of course.
Absolutely.
Yes. I mean, we know that, but at the same time, we do try and keep away from controversial.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you can't discuss what the visa situation should be, because somebody gets hold of that paperwork. Sure, we're all in trouble.
Yeah,
because it's always a question that we're asked by people who first come into the room. Are you official?
Yeah, sure. I understand that.
Allowed to do this.
But my kind of thinking is, Darren's coming in now doing the advertising and promoting and with yourselves for the website and all that. I mean, just a simple survey on there to say, what would you like to see change? What would you like to see on a Friday more?
Suggestions.
Yeah, like a suggestions box, a survey, whatever you want to say. Just some feedback. Instead of they go away from that meeting, they talk amongst themselves, do whatever, may not do anything, they might use you, they may not use you, they might do this, they might do that, and then they come back next Friday and they're in that same cycle.
Yeah.
Whereas if you try and get that person involved, like you was talking about, hey guys, this is your club, I want you more involved. If they felt more involved in a small way, maybe your results would be higher.
Yep.
That's just my thinking. What do you think?
Yeah, I think there's a bit of substance to that. But most of these people are retired. Mm-hmm. Now, we had this conversation last week, the board did, with regards to volunteers, at the club. We offer volunteers free breakfast, come in, help the club, put a jacket on, be a meet and greet person, do what you need to do. People... It's very difficult, even though you've got a room of over 100 people, to find somebody that will actually want to do it. They're there, like Brian said, for the social side, to listen to the speaker to get away from the missus, nagging in his ear, yeah, maybe go for a beer after with his friends, or something like that. To them, it's probably it's a get out. I want to get out of the house and I want to go somewhere and I want to talk to my own people because he's been shacked up all week probably with his missus, No disrespect to her, but they don't really want to put that much energy into it. They want to sit there, they want to go to what they know, they want to eat, listen, go to a pub after, talk with the mates about what they've listened to. But yeah, I think the suggestion side's very good, but getting people there, I don't know why. Sometimes it can be an uphill struggle. Do
you not, when you say it's the Expats Club, Expats Club.
Helping expats.
I understand that. What about all the younger generation that could do with the help?
Yes, big mistake we made over the years is we forgot to fill the spaces behind us. We're all getting old, 18 years.
Absolutely.
And suddenly somebody said, how much longer will this club last? And we, never thought about it like that.
I think the club will always last, and I think it will always be here. But I think that you need somewhere along the line to attract new blood.
But here's the problem: young people won't come to an old guys club. They come in the door, they look around, they say, "Oh."
They will. They will if they could promote themselves.
They will. If you get them in as speakers,
absolutely,
for their business,
100%, and they will have followers, and then followers will text where they're going today, and
will work. People like you will help because you came in and you listened, and the first thing you said to Niels was, "I think I can help here."
Yeah, and I'm pleased to help, and if I can, I'm not a young spring chicken, but I mean, and Bobby is, we're all in it to sort of help, but I think the Expat Club itself is just missing that niche of the young businessman and the young followers. And I don't think it's that hard to get them there because they think they know it all, but they don't know it all, okay? And I think they should take the advice.
You can't get their nose out of the phone, if they're really young. But, even today we were talking about that in the office. An idea might come about where we could help to attract these younger people. But it is a problem, it really is.
It's a problem because they don't know about it.
It's a problem because all right.
That's the problem. I'll tell you what the problem is. The younger generation here do not know about it.
Unbeknown to a lot of people, sorry, bro. Unbeknown to a lot of people, when I started my business, to the younger people that are watching the business owners, when I come here in 2004 to the club, I was on my ass. And the reason I'm still there now is because of the loyalty to the members and to the club for what they did for me.
Absolutely.
Okay. So many years ago. And, they got me on my feet. I got my customer base, the start customer base from the Expat Club. Now, one of the things that they do have for people that have got businesses is called a separation, but you've got the meeting area and you've also outside, you've got tables. Now, if you're, let's say, a sponsor, which is how much, Brian, for 6 months?
It's £1,000 a month.
It's £1,000 a month, that's all, okay? And you can have a table, you put all your leaflets on it, you can have somebody sat there giving information on your business, real estate, whatever you want, and that's for £1,000 a month, so it's four times a month. Attracting customers, talking to new customers. You ain't going to get a customer base of, let's say, between 50 and 100 people at the same time on the same day anywhere, So we've got sponsors that have been there years because even though they don't do any of their own advertising, they tend to pick work up from word of mouth from the club. So if you've got 70 people who go to the club, they've all got friends. So before you know it, you've got a circle of 1,000 people. Well, this guy seems all right. He's good. He'll give you a discount. He'll do this. He'll do that. But for £1,000 a month, you're not going to take that up. And if you can't do it yourself, you put a member of staff in who can give the leaflets or the cards out, or you can just put your stuff on the table for people to pick up.
I just think that the Expat Club itself is a great meeting place to throw in information about, to talk about everything. And a lot of these younger guys don't know about the information that you're talking about because they don't know it exists. So I think if you somewhere along the line, if you can find, I know it's a bit hard at the moment with the current situation, but if it gets back on its feet, to find somebody of the younger generation that you can say to them, okay, we're going to make you so-and-so of the Expat Club for the age bracket between so-and-so, put them in charge and let them do what they want to do to drag the people there, but also at the same time, let them promote their business for free. Okay, within the Expat Club and on your website. And I think that way it will show that the Expat Club is trying to help them and they will help you back. But I think that first of all, you've got to get the people there, invite them as guests, sit them down, talk to them, have meetings with them around the table to get them on board. But I think it's very doable.
Of course, I mean, look at the gentleman you had on the other week, Matt, from the tattoo place.
Yes, from Celebrity.
Which I introduced you
Brilliant guy.
to Matt.
Matt and Sophia.
Sorry,
Matt. Sophie, wasn't it, Bobby?
Matt and Sophie, yeah.
Sophie.
Yeah.
Sophie.
You know, I only mentioned it to him in my office about the podcast. Why don't you go on it, promote your business? You know, great idea. And this is a young guy. This is like, he's in his 20s, you know, tattooed from head to foot, you know, but he knows that this is going to generate business for him. So if it was that easy, then, you know, finding the right young people for the club shouldn't be that difficult. It's just having the chance and the people around you to actually find these people to bring them or promote it. You know,
we've come up with a little bit of idea, and we think it's very good. I mean, you now, of course, with Pattaya One are going to have your expats page and sponsor the expats page. You can spend money on trying to get people out there and tell the people. So what we think is a good idea is to have this podcast day in here where you can invite people in. You know, you can come in with friends and we can all talk around the table and talk with other people in the Expat Club about different things and bring them involved into the show. Because what people look at today and what you probably miss sort of your conception of it is, it's okay making a podcast show, and Bobby will tell you this exactly what I'm going to say. The podcast show itself is good and people watch it and they enjoy it and it gets out there. But what's even better is when we take the slices of the podcast show, and we put them out there and they're like 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and that gets the people dragging over to watch what we want to watch. Because no disrespect, I mean, you go onto a stage, Daz, and you stand there and you'll speak for an hour, and everybody's looking at you and you cover loads of subjects. Now, for somebody to sit there and watch all that for an hour on a video is a lot. But if you take your segments and make them into segments and put them on your website as a visa, a retirement visa, a marriage visa, they will watch it because it's about a certain subject. And that's what we've found out here, haven't we, Bobby?
Yeah, low attention span. You know, they want to bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, so that's what we've found out, and that's what we can do for you guys. I mean, we're going to support the Expat Club, be it by Pattaya One, be it by the podcast studio. It's yours. It's yours to use. I mean, you give us the information, we'll put it out there, but if we don't get the information, we can't do it.
Understand.
You know, and we'll try and get it to the younger generation because we do have a lot of younger generation contacts.
One of the things I noticed over the years, because obviously a long time, is the interaction between the stage and the audience was much better in the earlier days. Because, actually, I don't know why, but I think it's because they thought that they were part of what we were producing from the stage. But now, very often I get the impression it's a theatre. They pay their money, they get their ticket, they sit in the seat and they watch. They don't want to participate. They just want to watch.
It's one of those things that, you know, and I mean this in the nicest possible way, is you need interaction between the stage and the audience.
That's right.
That's it. It's an art, and that's what you need to do.
You can't stir them up though sometimes. You really can't. He tries.
I get that, but you know, if I mean, you know, the thing that I liked at the Expat Club, which I thought was very good, which was the other week, is you made them stand up, or not stand up, but you made them clap, didn't you, for a new member?
Yeah, which I think is nice.
Which is 100% what you need to do. You know, you need to award these people. You need, like, you know, what you can do is like make an award for somebody, you know, every month. Have an award for the best something. So that's the person that's contributed the most to the Expat Club, not you guys. Forget all your staff, forget the VPs, forget all that. We're talking members. So the member that's in the audience, they get an award from the Expat Club for the best member for doing X for the club. And they get another couple of years free, or they get whatever. Give them something, But that will make people think differently. Instead of, oh, we're paying the buggers and we just sit here, we listen to this, then we go home. We're not getting anything.
Well, we've got a great thing coming on in December, just before the Christmas show. We've got a great sponsor, brilliant sponsor, who's giving away a free motorbike.
Great.
And that's going to be the numbers are going to start from the 1st of November, and that's going to be like a raffle at that show. You know, so if that doesn't entice people, you know, we're trying to say, look, we want to give you something back.
I think the honest answer there.
Who is that sponsor anyway?
I don't know.
I believe he's got a bald head and baggy eyes, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I think he's a big fella, that's for sure.
Somebody said to me the other day, they said, I like that podcast. He says, but the cameras don't do you much justice.
We put it in HD just for you, heavy duty, you know.
No, thank you very much.
We have a comment coming in here from Dwayne, and he asks, how much does it cost to be a member?
750 baht for 2 years, thereafter 400 baht a year.
Awesome.
Okay, we got that. Is that right, Bobby? Yeah?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
What I think is this, and I think what you're doing is good with a motorbike, right? I think it's good.
I did it years ago.
I think it's good, but this is where the but comes in. For them to go in and buy a raffle ticket,
no, it comes free.
Okay, they get a free raffle ticket. Even worse, they're not doing anything for it.
Yeah,
they're paying the membership when they go in, or they're paying the daily ticket when they go in.
Yeah. Okay, so they're doing what they do normally, but they're getting a free raffle ticket when they walk in.
Yeah.
It's not. There's no, in my eyes, and I mean this nicely, there's no enticement there to make them do more. Do you get what I'm saying?
Not while they're there, but it gets them in the door if you offer a free raffle ticket.
Yeah, and you've got to promote this, because if you're giving away a motorbike, this has to be news. This has to be on the news. This has to be on the website. This has to be everywhere. Yeah, but it has to be everywhere. And I mean, that's that. You know, if you can do things like you're doing, but reward somebody in a way of doing something, member of the month, for example, and give them an award for member of the month, be it a medal bit, whatever you want to give them, a plaque or whatever they want.
Yeah, like a friend.
Yeah,
Like
the older people, no disrespect, the older people appreciate that. They feel as though they're part of the club. And I think from my experience, being down there and only observation, is that's the problem at the moment, being a part of the club and everybody interacting. It's more like you say, it's more like going to the theatre at the moment.
Exactly.
Dave.
That happened at the Mercure. We went there and we should never have gone there.
Right.
It was a restaurant that was used by us, if we were lucky, to get the people who were having breakfast out in time. I mean, it was a restaurant. It wasn't even our room. So
I mean, Imara is great. It's a great venue.
I have to say, you guys chose a really nice venue.
Well,
that room is sweet, and the food is amazing, and the acoustics are great in there, and the stage is great, the sound system, it was just pro all the way.
It's a bit of a box, unfortunately. You know, it's a rectangular box. When we were at the Grand Soleil, at least it had shape as well. It's the same size, but it did have age that gave it shape.
Yeah. But I mean, where you are now is, like Bobby said, it's bang on. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Exactly.
Dave, I just want to say something about the club, and Brian will back me up here.
Sure.
Okay, we've been at the Mercure for 5 years.
7 years.
7 years.
8 years.
8 years.
Right.
I hated the venue.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, and so did Brian. Okay, when I did talks there, you're bending your head around to try and talk to people. Okay, the acoustics were crap, aircon didn't work properly. You know, for big guys like me, you're sweating your taters off all through it.
How many people did you lose?
Lots.
Yeah.
We used to fill 100 and something, but we couldn't get more than 60 into the Mercure.
The problem was recently. Okay, you got to understand that the new board members, including me and Brian, moved up to vice president and stuff, and Neil's the president. A lot of the movement and a lot of the changes have only happened within the last month. Okay, because previously we had a vice president who was resigned because of
different things, whatever.
Different things.
Sure.
And then he come back, and you couldn't fart unless there was a board meeting about it, you know. So we couldn't make decisions on our own without having to go through 67 emails and stuff. And then that's
good parliament, isn't it?
And then it got vetoed at the end, mate. You know. And now, you know, we're in a position where we're doing things that have never been properly done before. If you, Brian will back me up on this, you know, proper promotion, giving the members what they want, you know, which is a great morning.
How do you know what they want if you don't?
They tell us.
Well, they tell us.
Some tell you, or all of them?
Quite a lot tell us.
Listen, mate, they're not all quiet.
It was so rigid.
Well, I remember the guy the other week. I mean, you know, how's this not going to turn into the Darren show?
Yes.
Well, exactly.
Are you sitting behind him?
Well, he apologised after. He said, "I didn't mean to be offensive."
Well, he wasn't.
He said it was just a, you know,
a comment.
It's a comment. You know, it was just what's the word he used?
It's a passing comment.
Well, he used a lot of words, but I don't.
Yeah, he loses a lot of words actually.
Yeah, but I said to him, I said, "Look, I don't want the club. I wouldn't have it on a silver platter. I'm not interested in that. That's not my job. My job at the club is to help the club get bums on seats. So the bigger the club, the better the club.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's going to help the members and different things. And Brian, obviously, we've all spoke about this. And Brian, you know, in his job, I have to go to Brian. Brian talks with Niels, and then we do things together.
I get the expat club and I get where you come from. What you said, you know, people aren't getting younger, getting older. But if you're only doing it like that for the older person at the moment,
that's the problem.
You're pigeonholing it.
Yeah.
You're leaving so many people out.
This is what happened where we were at the Mercury. I mean, we although we moved in January to the Amari, we've only had something like 6 meetings because of the COVID thing.
Right.
So we are really in fact, we asked Darren before if he would join the board, and he said no at that time. He didn't want to because he knew that he didn't have a free hand to do. None of us did.
I think when your hands are tied, when I think when your hands are tied and you go through all the meetings and you get to the end and it's still no. I mean, you don't. It knocks the stuffing out of you. You might as well not do it.
But we couldn't grow it, Dave, because in the Mercure it was too small. There was no room to grow it. I mean, when I speak, people are interested in visas. Obviously, of course they are. You know, it's the number one topic always in Thailand. We can fill a room.
Yeah.
And sometimes at the Mercure, you know yourself, Brian, they were sat right at the back of the room, and the acoustics were crap, and people were saying, "I can't hear you." And you know, when you're in mid-floor and somebody's saying, "I can't hear you," it sort of like throws you off, you know. And I said, "No, I can't do anything with this."
Your presentation the other day was really strong. It was really good.
Yeah, this is from here.
Strong was
from there, and also
word,
totally from there.
I think what you did is a lot of people, and you'd agree, a lot of people have to know the truth, don't they? Yeah. You have to say what you mean and not bullshit anybody. You need to speak out and say what you really mean. Otherwise, it gets hidden, swept under a carpet. It's never spoken about, and all that does is the carpet starts to pile up.
Well, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't my place really to say what was going on, but I got permission off Brian and Niels. I said, "Look, I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to explain to the members why we've rejigged everything and why we're pushing forward."
People want that.
Now, the other thing that was against us, and I know it's easy to hide behind these excuses, but it's not an excuse, it's the truth. When we were at the Mercure and we had this tiny little useless room, opposition, which is the other club, were at the Holiday Inn in a beautiful room that's even better than the one at the Amari.
Yeah.
And I go there as a member. I mean, I enjoy it and whatever. Never any problem between us, but the people like to go there because it's so much better.
Can you blame them?
Exactly. Now we're in the Amari.
Okay.
And right next door to where they are. And we're comparable. Now we've got to try and either get the people to come to us and them, because it's different days. We're not fighting, you know, I mean, they can attend both, or new people. And that's what we're trying to do now.
Well, for the new people, you definitely need a carrot.
You're it, boy.
Can I butt in here?
You're the nicest looking carrot I've ever seen.
We have another listener, Michael Buckley.
I know Michael. Hi, Michael.
Why not stream it live on Facebook? You could reach a lot of the younger crowd.
We can set that up.
We can't risk what they're going to say when we don't know the speaker. We really can't risk what they're going to say. We can't risk what he's going to say for sometimes.
Sometimes I have to.
There you go.
When you're talking about visas, you have to be
politically
very
correct.
careful what you. No, I'm not.
Because we are in a foreign country.
Yeah, but Bobby, that's the point. I'm not.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can't afford for my safety and the club's
Sure.
safety to have that filmed.
And also we have to think, Bobby, I mean, yes, it's a great idea if it was the norm, yeah? But if somebody stands up, let's just say somebody stood up and said something not politically correct.
Of course.
It's going to bounce back on these guys.
Question answered.
And these guys are going to end up in jails.
However, what we do is do. Did I just say
Do. That's
You
a song.
can't say
Do. That's the police.
That's one of Barry Upton's.
That's rude, that is, saying do. Yes, it is. We do record
One
the
note,
thing.
Barry.
We don't record him, but we do record the speakers with their permission. And then we have a chance to look at it and put it on YouTube. But we don't do it live because it's just too risky.
It's too risky.
There's no delay.
It's like
that
this
we
show.
could
This
create.
show's completely censored. Sorry, did I say that?
Sometimes I go home and think I didn't say that, did I?
Yeah, you
You
did.
have to watch it back.
Did I really say that? Hang on, rewind.
Yeah. Review mirror time.
But yes, you're right. We have to use
We are
the
all
technology.
under scrutiny here. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
the
The,
truth.
the thing that would be good, and it's very, very doable, is this, that you can do live comments. You can do live questions that you can put on your big screen. So you can have a Facebook Messenger that's connected to your Facebook, and you can just click it so only the messages are on the screen, yeah, and you can see if any messages come through to you and what the questions are from outside. I mean, I don't know if you do that at the moment, but
No,
it's-
we don't. No.
Dave, you know, can I just say something? I think all this technology and stuff is great with that. But we want people to, if we're going to give free information,
Yep.
and we're going to,
You want them there.
Well, that's true.
that's
yes.
it, man.
Okay, well, that's...
No disrespect
No.
to people. Look, you know,
we want them in the room.
Yeah,
Yes,
if,
yeah.
if,
Yeah.
you
Come to
know,
the party, you guys. So let's create a party, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
That's
He likes
that's what
parties.
I bet he does. He looks like a party man.
That's why we want to bring in the young ones.
One
Yeah.
of the things
That's it, yeah.
that they often don't think about is we have to pay for this room. So the people have to attend. If it's all on TV, why would anybody come?
No. I get it, but you know, we get asked. I mean, the podcast show is completely different from
Exactly,
from
yeah.
that. And
Of
the thing
course.
is,
We
with
don't
the-
mean it in a disrespectful
No,
way.
but the Expat Club itself, with all those people sitting there, a speaker on the stage is a loaded gun.
Yeah.
And if that goes off in the wrong direction, it could be ricocheted all over everybody. So the answer is, it's a good idea, but no.
Speaking of which, you know, being a musician and entertainer, why not have a musician come in and commit themselves every time for a 20-minute acoustic set, sit up there, play some songs, and then we go into the main after, you know, through breakfast, and then go into it and have that as a little carrot to dangle. You know, someone's going to perform.
Yes. We couldn't do it where we were because we were in a hotel.
Yeah.
We were on the ground floor and the people living above.
But I think you
And
could
on
pull
the
it off in that room.
The
Yeah.
few,
Yeah, sure.
the few occasions when
I'll play
Barry
for you
came
guys.
in, for example,
Yeah.
and did something, instant complaints. Not going to get that where we are now because it's a building on its own, so that's great. But what we have found is that an idea that Darren had, why not have some music so that when they arrive and they come in, a little
more
bit
comfortable,
like Muzak, you know? No, I mean Muzak in the background. We've tried
Who's
it.
that? Isn't that Greece?
We-
I'm all thinking of ACDC myself. Get some of that on. That'll liven them up.
We tried it, and somebody always comes up the stage and says, "Can we have that off, please? We can't talk across the table because it's a big table and you can't hear the person." And they've all lost their top register in the audio field, you know. So it's just a
balance.
So
Yeah.
you say, "Okay, well," or sometimes I'll put music on just to test the audio for levels and so on. Immediately they're all going, "Oh, turn it down." And then I asked them one day. I said, "Don't you like music?" And they said, "Oh, we want classic." Oh, all right. No, we want rock. No, we want.
Do you have an information intro video for the Expats Club that you can roll before you start the club, giving them all the background, the history, and everything, and where the club came from?
We could make one, or we could just say one, but no, we don't. Simply because the people that they're already there.
Yeah, but what about the new
See,
people?
Well, they're there.
They are, but unless you sit down with them and tell them what you're telling me now, they're not going to know.
But if it were on television, then you would do it. But
It's all on the website,
You
but
see what I mean?
it's not. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just saying that we haven't been doing it.
Right, so you said earlier, this is a business, correct?
No, we don't want to make it a business.
No, it's-
I don't want to.
We,
make
we
it a
have
business.
to. We have to make money to cover overheads. That's what we do.
Yeah, but this is in the business of information.
Correct.
Don't Don't you think so?
I don't want to go that route.
No?
I really
so
don't.
you would say, so you're sticking to it as like a club of information then?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a club of people that come along
Right.
for a social side where we introduce a speaker for a subject that we don't know.
Okay,
what's
so if I bring 20 or 30 people along who are new to your club, yeah, and you roll an information video and they watch it, they'll understand a lot more about your club by the time you open your mouth and say hello.
and the other 50 people will say, we've seen this every week.
Doesn't matter.
But you've got to take respect for them as well. It's their club.
I get it.
What if they don't turn up?
I get it, but but we're not talking something that's an hour long. We're talking something that's probably 5 minutes.
But
you know,
even when we go through the routine of saying, blah, whatever, I'll start off by saying, have we got anybody new? If nobody new says, yes, I'm new, then we don't go through all that domestic stuff about, oh, well, we're here, the food's over there.
But okay, so so you've got a room full of people and you say, is there anybody here new? Then you have to, explain to them who you are and what you are?
No. We got all the things we say, right, this is what we do here. A very quick rundown of somebody's going to introduce, I'm doing it maybe, then we're going to have a speaker, then we're going to have an open forum. This is your chance to have, your say.
Mm-hmm.
Food's over there, toilets are down there, blah, blah, blah. That's only for the new people. Everybody else knows it. And if there's no new people, you don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you do, they'll say, we've heard all this before.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah, but couldn't we maybe, just brain fighting here, couldn't we put something like a video like that on a toggle and then because we have a membership desk before, so we can go to the membership desk, say any new members today, and then boom,
the easiest way to do this is when they sign up as a new member, they give you their email, and when they give you their email, you attach the video to it and send it back to them, and they can watch it. It's as simple as that.
I've got a better idea. Thank you for your idea, because now it's triggered something up here.
That's a great idea.
Where we are in this building, they have big screen TVs all around it. We can plug into that and have it running, so that as the people walk in the door, it's already running.
Walking in the entrance of the club, of the hotel, and having it playing is good. But their attention span to that video is not good, because they'll be talking, chatting, or thinking about where they're going and what they're going to eat for breakfast. That's great, but when you and we're not talking about the guys that are there already. We're talking about, hey, here, Bri, I've got 20 new members for you. You guys go, thanks a lot, Dave. Here's 20 new emails. Attach the video. Welcome to the club. This is what we do. So when they do come to the meeting, they know all about it. You don't have to explain nothing.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, you bring 20 new members with. I'll do anything you want.
Yeah. You bring them, we'll do it.
Settle for 19. But don't you think so, Bob?
But
I mean, your ideas. I mean, what do you think?
Purely the fact that you said 20 members, but you're thinking business again.
Why not?
That's it.
Well,
No, that's my job.
I think you need a few birds at the front desk, to be really honest with you guys. When I walked up the other day, it was just a bunch of old guys. But if you had a few beautiful birds at the front desk helping out...
Why would they come?
What's that?
Are they...
No, maybe members' wives or something, yeah. Do you know...
we keep away from there, we've been there on that road.
Members' wives, that's a no.
disastrous, that was.
But we used to have that in the Mercure, didn't we, with Michael's wife. She did a good job, Michael's wife.
But
at shall we say, at one other certain club, won't mention the name, but they do have a desk at the front with two older ladies
members
for members who do say, who are you, can I help you, what do you want, like I say meet and greet.
But if I you've just said, if I turn up with 20 new members and say, here's 20 guys, they all want to be members of your club, what am I doing wrong? Why is that wrong?
No, I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm saying it hasn't happened.
Well, you're saying it can't happen.
No, I'm not. It hasn't happened.
You're
saying,
happen.
why haven't we got it already? It hasn't happened.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to do.
This is new territory for us.
Exactly.
Really.
This is where we're coming from. This is new territory. What you're sitting in now,
and it should be. That's great.
A year ago, we didn't really know about podcasting and this or that. We did the TV. We did all the TV stations. We had the websites going. We did everything. That's what we know about. This is something that's brand new.
It's new territory today. We haven't swore yet.
You have once.
Oh, have I?
Yeah, we got the bleep monitor.
Did you cancel?
We got the bleep monitor on that. But that's what I'm talking about. And this is where, with no disrespect to you, all right, or any of the members, this is where fresh blood, younger blood can pump something into it to you guys and say, hey guys, you've done a great job, but if you did that and you did this and you did this, you'd actually get that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what
we want.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And it's a club, not a business. Sorry.
Everything's open. Ears are open. My eyes are open. You know, I'm 50 years old, but when I was
50,
Almost.
and the other leg.
Cheeky sod. But when I was a youngster, when I first started, you know, I had that drive. You know, you have that drive to find. You go out. You've got that fire in your belly, and these are the people that we need to find again.
Absolutely.
But now as you get older, you're more of a control man than you are of a.
Yeah.
The thing is that I've learned over the years when I've done stuff, and Bobby's going to probably bag me again on this, you know, being a DJ, what I did, and that is if you can break the crowd, if you can get the crowd laughing, if you can get the crowd enjoying themselves, everything else is easy.
Sure.
So I think what it lacks at the Expat Club is this, you know, you come in, you get your breakfast, you sit down, they're eating the breakfast, suddenly somebody comes on and says, welcome to the Expat Club. So I just think that bit in between, if there was just
something missing,
something
less
there,
less dry.
well, just to rev them up a little bit, it might pull it better.
Let's go back to what you said earlier about a video running.
Sure.
While the breakfast is on, we actually do have a slideshow.
Okay.
I made it some years back, but I update it, obviously.
Yeah.
It lists the sponsors that are sitting outside, what they do, how much, blah, blah, blah. So we are talking about the club. It doesn't talk about the history.
Is it just video, or is it video and audio?
Video.
So it's they
don't want all this interruption. They want to talk. They tell us this time and time again. We want to chat. We're here to eat and chat.
Okay, so when they've come in and they've sat down and they've ate their breakfast and they've chatted a little bit and you're just about to start the Expat and you say, welcome to the Expat Club, and you just put on a 2-minute video or something, yeah?
Yep.
That's it. Just put that on. It welcomes everybody to the club. Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome, of course. And this today, even if you had a hot seat in there, that would make people think. For example, a hot seat, I've done this in the past. You've got 100 seats in there, and under one of them seats is an envelope. Are you sitting in the hot seat today? Because if you are, and you're number 39 and you're sitting in the hot seat, you will win this today. So there's something there where the crowd interaction.
Yeah. Break the ice.
Yeah.
The ice needs to be broken.
Yeah, I think from what I've done in the past, going on what I've done, is I think that you need an icebreaker, like Bobby says. You need a crowd pleaser to just lift them up a bit instead of just sitting there and they listen and they go home. Right. If they can leave there and they've enjoyed being there and they've had a laugh and they feel involved, that makes them want to come back. It's like when you see a good show, you want to go back.
Can I make the point that an awful lot of them come back?
Yeah, sure.
With what we're doing now. Mm-hmm. You're going to make it better by doing this.
Absolutely,
sure.
Absolutely.
But they already do. So we actually do have this core.
You have a great club, and what you do is great, and you do a fantastic service. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. All I'm saying is, with the way the situation is if you tweak it, the only thing you can do from it is gain from it.
But it is a little bit of a problem. You've got 3 boxes here. You've got the one we'd had, the one you'd like to see, and that bit in the middle. They're not going to like that bit in the middle because it'll be change. And old people don't need change. You know, if we had younger people, they'd be in for change. But we do have to think about the people we've got.
But why can't you have the older people, which is not a problem, and then bring the younger side into the club.
We'd love to.
Into the club, and then you as VPs or whatever say, hey, welcome members, blah, blah, blah. Today, these have opposed, or they would like to see this. What do you guys think about it? Yeah, so you're asking...
You could do that on the open forum.
On the open forum, you could say, for example, this guy thinks that you should wear green shirts. What do you think, guys? Oh, we all like green shirts. Well, let's wear green shirts then. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Yeah. So you can not let them take over or do anything or interact in a wrong way. What you can do is you can bring the fresh blood into the club. Yeah, they can give ideas to the club, which could be okayed by the club, which eases them into being all friends and being under one roof. Instead of they're there and we're there. That's all I'm saying. Interaction again. Interaction is a main thing. No.
Yeah, of course.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
of course. I mean, you know, when I do a talk, and I've done about 34, over my time at the club. It's not easy when you're talking to 100 odd people, for an hour off the top of your head most of the time. The most interaction I get is when I'm telling me funny stories at the end.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Breaks the ice.
And they piss themselves laughing, these old guys, because it's all about things they know about, in Thailand, things that happen and things I've seen, what we call visa stories. And that's the best interaction that we get, is people are like that, zombified when you're talking about the visas, and then as soon as I finish, I'll say, right, okay, should we do some stories? Just to try and recharge the batteries again and get them going again, and
I think the stories need to happen earlier. Stories need to happen earlier in the set.
Yeah, you need
that will break the ice and everyone will start
absolutely
dropping in better.
What we have learned we've all learned over the years, is that instead of having an MC that's the same guy every week, to have different blood up on the stage, particularly as we tried it from the originally when we tried it, we started having foreigners, if you'll forgive the term, not Brits, but other Europeans. And suddenly they enjoyed that because it was a different accent, a different view.
Absolutely. Well, we all like that. We all like that.
Right. So now we have, for example, in our open forum, 5 presenters, 1 a week. So that's never the same. And some of them don't know how to stand on stage and talk, so they show a video, funny or whatever. Spencer used to do all the videos, for example, and he would, I don't know where he got them from, they were brilliant, some of these things, some were old, some were new, whatever.
The thing is that you can go, Brian, I mean, the thing is with a club like this or any club around the world, and that is if you don't keep feeding new life and new ideas into it, it becomes stale.
And that's what,
and that's where you don't want to, and that's where you don't want to be.
And so we're now in the business of removing the stale. I don't know how you unstale something, but
of course you can.
But the problem is we've become for 8 years established as that stale club, and it is difficult.
But you've still got a lot of members. You're still filling the place. You've still got a great room. You've still got a captive audience. It's all there. It just needs fine tuning.
The venue is important. We've grown in numbers just in those 6 weeks.
Oh, we like the venue.
Yeah,
don't we?
Oh, we do.
Since I got the job a couple of weeks ago. Because I got given the job because I'm the mouthy one.
I wonder why.
I mean, we've already got on the website. We've already got a new website being made now in the background, which is Dan knows about. Has been dealing with my webmaster. They're revamping it, putting Thai on there, different things as well, and and we do a bit of AdWords on there. You look at something on Google, the news about Thailand, the Expat Club's there already. The AdWords are working already because they've only got two to go at, which is us, and another one. If the other one doesn't do it, then we're going to get there first. So,
Expats is searched a lot, believe me.
Well, I know it is, but when I'm looking up for the news, it's there. The ad's there straight away. So these are the little things, the tweaky things that we're doing just to enhance it, make it better.
The thing that you can do by using Facebook, and you can go into this a little bit more later on, and that is you can do throw an ad out there, a dynamic ad, and then basically target people that are in Thailand, for example, and target between so many, their ages, and that will come back and that will tell you exactly where they are and what they are and who they are.
Boost in post,
Yeah, but you've got to do it in a way that you don't just go any age to any age. You've got to put the age limit. You've got to choose your boundary and what area you want to do and all that, But you will find if you did like the Chambry area, for example, and for men and women aged between so and so, it would come back and it would show you how many people are looking at the ad and then run the same ad again and then do it from 18 to 35 and see what the differences are. That's a good way of finding out where your audiences come from. Because in Pattaya now, forgetting the current situation, mainly we're dealing with people that are living here or working here a little bit or that are here. So we haven't got an influx of anything else, at the moment. But when it opens up, I mean, there should be people that come into the country and be brought into the Expat Club as guests, for the day. I mean, because maybe they're only here for a couple of weeks, but brought into it as a guest, free pass, come in and sit down and listen. This is what we do. In case they think about in the future coming to live here.
Another problem that we've had, and we didn't realise this at the beginning because we weren't experienced at it, obviously, is names. Sitting here at the table, all I hear from all of us is Expat Club. They're both called that,
Oh, are they?
They're both that in the name. The only bit that is the bit that's added at the beginning. The Pattaya Expats Club is one. The Pattaya City Expats Club is I mean, it's crazy. If only you could take it and say, no, forget it, guys. Let's start over. You know, I'm the red one, you're the green one. It's got to make it different. And we've suffered from that the entire time. Everybody says the Expat Club. They think it's one. Then they send me an email and I send it back. I say, I think you've got the wrong one. You're supposed to be talking to the other people. They don't know the difference.
Well, that's what you. That's
we're
all.
Stuck with it.
That's all down to information.
But we're stuck with it because it's a business. It's not a business.
You said that. I didn't say that.
Sorry. It's a no. It's a company. You
It's
see.
a company.
It's registered. We can't change it.
Well, I mean, okay, no, but the company, but that's slightly untrue. You can have a company, and under that company, you can have subnames.
Yeah, but then you're not established anymore. And
well, if you've got, for example, if you've got Pattaya Expat, is that what you've got? Pattaya Expat Club?
The Pattaya Expats Club.
Okay, so if you've got the Pattaya Expat Club Co. Limited or whatever.
No, it's just the Pattaya Expats Club.
Okay, so then under that, it doesn't matter what you call your website. Call your website whatever you want.
That's right, but it's still the club's name.
It doesn't have to be on the website name. It can be the club's name that owns.
Nobody would associate it.
Well, yes, if you changed it to what you've just been on about and made it more accessible and taken away the bits at the beginning that it's something you have to look into and do a search on.
But I mean,
you know what I mean?
That's been like that for 18 years.
Yeah, sure.
And we haven't changed it, and it has been a problem. Obviously a problem, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, your friend that's doing the website, she can look where the traffic's coming from. You can see how many visits you get, and from that you can.
There was another interesting part in the history of the two clubs because they've run right from the early days as two clubs. One was known as the American Club. One was known as the Brit Club. Why?
Why?
Because I was the MC at one, and Drew Noyce was the MC at the other.
Yeah, I mean, but that's sort of like.
But people say that. Oh, are you the American Club or the Brit Club? I said neither.
No, we're the Brit Club. Okay, well, we're from Belgium or Holland or Germany.
Exactly.
We're not coming.
Well, I get a lot of that in my office.
Yeah,
because I don't have an American flag. Because we do visas to the UK and Australia, I don't have an American flag on my website. People ask, "Do you do for Americans?"
Yeah.
Well, of course I do visas for Americans, you know, to stay here, I mean. You know, not to go overseas, because it's like pulling teeth. But, you know, it's, the be-all and end-all of it is, you know, like you said, it's people just look. And if there's a mistake or they don't understand something, they just won't do it.
True.
There's a few things that I'd like to see change at the club, of course, but we're in early days. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Tiptoe.
Yeah, tiptoe, nice and easy.
Nice and easy.
Don't frighten the old people, that no disrespect, that go already. You know, don't bring a load of, you know, young whippersnappers in, and that's not what we're expecting to happen. We're expecting people who want to live legally, you know, come in for their information at not a lot of money.
Have you ever thought about donating one of your tables to a local company and giving that table to the local company and inviting them for free for the day? No. Restaurants, hotels, anybody. No?
This is what we're looking for.
No, but I know what I'm saying is, let's just take this for example. Let's just take Tuscana restaurant. Let's just take that for instance. Yeah, Luca and whatever. Yeah. So if you went to them and said, "Hey, we want you to come to our expat meeting on Friday. Please be our guest. The table is yours. Everything's there for you. Come and enjoy it and have a listen to it and tell us what you think." I mean, then they may not do something that day, but at least you're educating the people that you're there, their involvement. And if that person talks to another person, just like I did when I came for the first time, I've told people now, I've been there. Bobby is exactly the same. So it's going back to the old days, what we spoke about. Even with modern technology, we're now talking of word of mouth again.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking of word of phone, of course.
Yeah.
But this is what you need to do. I mean, I just think as a club, you need to invite the people that are around Pattaya that have got businesses and bring them into the club and make them feel welcome into your club.
The bottom line is we didn't move with the times. We didn't have. I don't think we have. Well, yeah, we must have had an ideas person, but I don't remember who it was. I mean, it wasn't that good, obviously.
No.
But we after the Grand Soleil, or during the Grand Soleil, when we had the I think the most we ever had was 200 once, and it was actually a July 4th American day when I stood on stage as a Brit and could get away with all the stuff I said about the Americans and so on. You know? But because we had done that, we kind of sat back and said, this is working, and hung on to it.
Yeah, but
then of course it died because we moved and it died.
That's
now
it. That's relaxing. That's relaxing and taking your eye off the ball, of course.
Exactly,
which is
what we did.
What's very easy to do. Can we just take a quick swig of water, guys?
But wait,
go on.
We're not mentioning any names, but the reason it fell to bits was because of hierarchy, mate. I told you before, we wasn't allowed to do anything. Nearly every single thing we put forward was to a person who really didn't like any change.
Okay, well now you're into the times when you guys are
where we can.
Well, you're in the driving seat now, you guys.
Well, yeah, not just me. I mean, we've got a full board of people. Yeah,
don't forget the boss is the same boss.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although he's not entirely against us, or, you know. I mean, he has said, I want to see it different.
Niels.
Yeah, absolutely.
Niels
and I can't get the hang of quite yet whether he's really giving me a free hand or not.
No, I believe from talking to him, I think that he slightly is giving you guys a little bit more free hand than that, and giving you more of the reins and saying, come on, guys, we need to get this club working. Yeah. How can we make it work? And it's only for the good.
Exactly. I'm glad he's still there.
I'm glad he's still there.
Because he has things
He buys the coffee.
Well, he can go into City Hall and be recognised. I can't.
Yeah.
Well, we just before
he can go to jail and be recognised.
That's true. I don't care. I can eat red rice. But you know, it's like I've got a promotion on at the moment in the office. If I organise a Thai visa for somebody, a customer who's never been to the Expat Club before, I tell them about the club. Do you fancy going? Do you fancy being a member? If they say yes, I deduct 1,000 baht off the bill. And then I automatically do the cards for them in the office.
Good idea. Absolutely.
So, you know, then they will come to my office on a Friday and I will take them down for the first time. Okay. Now, this is obviously only for customers that are interested. I don't want people walking through the door and saying, "Oh, you know, I want a free membership," because that isn't going to happen. They're going to come
Forget
in.
that then, Bobby.
You two are all right. I don't know about that. But you understand what I'm saying?
I understand it. It's a great idea.
So for me, you know, the people that are saying, "Well, I didn't even know, Darren, you was involved with the Expat Club," you know, because they don't know.
Because they don't know.
Because
we're going to make them know. We're going to make them know.
We're going to make them know.
Guys, have a swig of water, okay? Just relax for 2 seconds. We're going to come back with some visa news from there. If you want to join in any time, it's an open table. Dive in, yeah?
Yep.
Have a swig, yeah?
All right, mate.
Talking Heads podcast live from Pattaya, Thailand, with your host Dave D. Join us weekdays. Check out all the latest updates on talkingheads-podcast.com.
Welcome back to Talking Heads, and of course down here in Pattaya, Thailand, at the head of the table, as per normal, Bobby Pars. Bobby Pars.
Bobby Pars.
Pars. My lips are going again, isn't it? It's every time I try to say you Pars.
Bobby what? What's his name? Bobby what?
Bobby Pars.
P-A-R-R-S.
P-A-R-R-S. Yeah, Pars. Pars. At the other end of the table, of course. How are you doing? All right? Have you enjoyed it today?
Oh, yes, this is fun.
Is it fun? Are you sure?
It's easier than standing on
Can
stage.
I say one little thing here? So, Darren, you go to the gym all the time. You work out.
Yes.
And I used to work out a little bit. And a friend of mine once said, the hardest thing about working out is walking in the front door.
Yes.
Getting in the front door. Once you get past that front door, it's all easy.
Threshold, yeah.
So I was thinking that as a metaphor about what we're talking about here, about getting in the front door of the Expats Club.
Once they're in, they're in.
Yeah. So we have to make it attractive to get them in the front door, which has to do with having a nice meet and greet, some birds on the outside there, meet and greet, and also have a 20-minute set of music, whoever it is who caters to the old people. This person's going to play music that can play some 40s jazz, can play some 50s, can play some 60s. 20-minute set, and it's going to be a beautiful experience, in my opinion. I get them in the door with some birds on the outside and some entertainment on the inside, and then they can get all that great information.
The worst thing that can happen at a place like that, when you've got a captive audience in a big place like that, is dead air.
Sure.
It's horrible.
I agree.
It's a horrible feeling for anybody.
Yeah. But we also went down the road of entertainment at the Green Tree. There was a Thai female jazz singer. She was good, really good. Worked at the Green Tree. And so we invited her in. Numbers went down. They said, we didn't come here for entertainment. We came here for information. You know, and you think...
20-minute set?
Dear, well, she did 2 during the event.
2 songs? That's it?
No. Two sets.
So what about if
That's a lot of
music.
yeah.
But we wanted to separate ourselves from the other club at the time and try something new. Didn't work. So
you know, I was going to put an idea to Brian, but I was going to do it tomorrow, not today. I was thinking something about the open forum. Okay, people want to get things off the chest.
Yep.
Now, if they've got an idea or they want to ask something, they don't want to wait an hour for the speaker to finish then ask, because they might have forgot what they were going to ask. So I was thinking, why don't you do the open forum in 2 segments? Do half before the speaker, let's say for 15 minutes before the speaker goes on, give him a chance to go through his notes and stuff and make sure he's right. Do the speaker, and then finish off with an open forum and question and answers.
I think it's a good idea, because if you sort of like start with that, we can have an open forum before we start today, and everybody can like
on Thailand questions, not the speaker questions.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
I was thinking, you know, just break it up a little bit rather.
I think it can go. I think it can be, if you keep it in one segment, it can drag on. That's okay. You know, and it can also like. But if you got that and everybody's like lifted up by probably somebody saying something, or you see, once you get people laughing, once you get people to rise up a little bit in the way they feel, you know, it makes your job a lot easier.
Well, that's true, and this brings us back to this variety, you know, of having different things on. One of the things we tried at one time was to have the intro, and then have a second speaker, but a short speaker, rather like a band that comes on before the big act, you know. And that worked. Maybe they didn't want the subject or that, but he was only on for 10 minutes. And then we did a little bit of info, and then we went into the main speaker. Now, Darren's said this, I've heard him say, I don't want to come along to the club and sit there for an hour waiting for me, because most speakers, they come on, they're not experienced, they're nervous as it is, they're sitting for an hour. By the time they get on there, you could see it. You know,
absolutely.
So we try and get them in at 11:30, we start the thing. Niels does 4 minutes, 5 minutes, they're in. That's good.
Yes.
But how long, if they're really good and they're doing an hour, we let them go. You know, if the audience isn't asleep, great. If they're...
Why an hour?
Short, well, because that includes their talk and the questions, the Q&A.
That's a long time.
That's a long time.
30 minutes at most talking, and then Q&A.
It's only me that does an hour, because I can't shut my mouth.
Yeah. And the Q&A might go...
I've only got one word for you.
The worst thing that can happen is you say, are there any questions? And there isn't. And I came up with the phrase, well, you must have done a really good job with your talk, because nobody's got... I mean, you know what they're... but that's what they're thinking. So, you know, I mean, these speakers come in, we don't know them, haven't got a clue what they're going to say. We don't even know what they're going to talk about, apart from a heading.
Yeah.
It is really difficult.
I think
live is live, believe you me.
Oh, I know, but I think, like Bobby says, I mean, an hour's a long time to stand on the stage and just talk. I mean, it's
but the whole thing.
I mean, you pull it off, don't you? Because you sort of, I mean, you're full of information.
I've done it. I've done it so many times. But I mean, it takes preparation. You know this, Dave. In your job, I mean, you know, it's not like we're doing now, free and easy and relaxed. If you stood up in front of 100 and odd people, it's your business at jeopardy. Yeah. You come out with something wrong, or you lose yourself and make yourself look like...
But if it was this, what we're doing now, on a bigger scale, it would open everything up for you. This is, you know, for you guys, to let me put the mic up here and start talking for an hour to you guys now.
No.
Where are you going, guys?
Yeah.
You know, after 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you want to go. So I think that like you do is good. I mean, you're a good speaker. But my side to that would be, great what you do, pause, interaction, do some more, pause, interaction, more, and pull them in instead of reeling it off.
What we have tried to do...
It throws the speakers off, though, Dave.
Right.
Sometimes, you know, when you're up there for an hour and you've got notes in front of you, like one
someone will take you into left field.
No, I was talking
As
about
a speaker,
It's hard. It's I mean... If you're a public speaker, you are. But 99% of people that are here are not. This is what frightens some of the sponsors.
I was on about you, not the speakers.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah. What I'm saying is that I always say to people, look, if you've got any questions, can you ask me at the end?
Right.
But sometimes I tell them that much. I understand what you're saying. It'd be nice to do 15 minutes. Right, if you get any questions on what I've just asked or what I've just spoken about, they ask you the questions, you speak. But as a speaker, then you lose the plot. Then you lose that not the motivation, the
Rapport.
the continuity that you've got, you know. And sometimes it can be quite difficult, you know, especially if you're.
But sometimes it's also, I mean, you know, it's also sometimes hard to sit there and listen to somebody speak for an hour, Darren, and remember everything they've said. And then, it is because we're not.
Which is why we record it now and it's available.
I know,
on YouTube.
but we're on about yes. But the point that I'm making is, even when you spoke the other day, I enjoyed what he said, and he was very informative of what he was doing. Can I sit here and say I remember everything he said? No. So what I'm saying is, if that was broken down a little bit, to give it a pause and say, this is the latest on tourist visas, for example, and and what about that, guys? What do you think? Any questions on that? And then carry on with the next thing. If you've got it will work. If you've got your bullet points, if you've got your bullet points of where you're going, if you break something up,
David, you're the master.
No,
you are the master.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to. I'm being honest with you. I'm just trying to look at it honestly as an outsider that's not been to the club, and to listen to you for an hour is great, and you're informative, and you do a great job. But can I remember everything you said? No. Whereas if you broke it down to segments, bullet points, this is a new visa. This is what it's going to be. It's going to be the 90-day visa. Has anybody had any of you guys had any problems with that? Then you got feedback, and then you got anyway. Great, lovely, fantastic. Marriage visas course is now. So you're interacting and you're doing your speech at the same time.
Darren, how long was your talk the other day? I was there, but
45 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But
it didn't seem that long to me. It seemed more. It
didn't seem that long.
My last visa talk was, I think, it was an hour and 10 minutes. I've been up there for an hour and 30 minutes, mate. One time, do you remember, Brian, when I left my notes in the office?
Yes.
I left everything. I was working on it, and I got sidetracked. I said, right, I've got to go to the club. I'm going to be late. And I turned up, and Neil said, Darren, you're on. And I went, I've got to do a talk for an hour.
Automatic pilot.
And he did the best talk he'd ever done.
There you go.
Longest talk
with no. But what I'm saying is,
to work like that. It tends to work like that.
But Dave, there's not many of us about who can do it.
No, but we're
if you've got a speaker who's got his own business about trees, or somebody who wants to talk about trees or something, he might not want to be interrupted.
I'm not on about. But the thing is, I'm not on about those speakers. Those speakers that come on and do their 30-minute presentation about their company is a totally different thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
You are there to tell people about visas and give them updates on what's happening. Me, as an outsider looking in on you, it would be good for you to say, this is the latest thing.
I can do that.
I can
do
this is
that.
the fine-tuning bit. This is all I'm saying. But a lot of people won't tell you that.
Yeah.
No.
They'll sit there and they'll listen and they'll go...
But the maximum, Dave, that I'm on at the Expat Club per year...
It's twice, isn't it?
It's twice a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 or 3, maybe 3, depending if there's any mass changes.
Yeah.
Or I might do an emergency one now and again if a speaker's, not turned up.
But being, and I mean this again in the nicest way, I'm always saying this, but being the older person that's sitting in front of you, if you say to them, hey, you know what, this is the latest on the retirement visas, blah, 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 10-minute presentation, and go, is any of you guys had any problems with that? And then this guy puts his hand up and says,
are you a DJ?
Are you a DJ? Staying alive. Then they can talk about it. Everybody in the room can talk about it and say, of course, guys, if you want to talk to me after about your retirement visas and you've got any problems, please see me after the show, or after the speech. Okay, we're going to go on to, of course, the new 90-day visa now. And, of course, you guys... So you're actually still...
I like it.
You're still continuing along, but you're breaking it up and... The crowd are not getting bored and sitting there listening and at the end trying to remember what's been said.
What I normally do is when I'm talking after about 20 minutes, I say, are you bored?
Yeah.
Yes.
Anybody asleep
Well,
yet?
you did, yeah,
and then
you did.
wake them up, you know?
Yeah. Well, you're doing the same as I'm saying
And
now.
they'll say, no, carry on, carry on,
And
carry on.
of course, you also got to remember that the people sitting there only have one visa, but there may be 8 categories in the audience.
Yeah, sure.
So they're only going to listen to their bit, and they
Yeah,
only
that's
need to
correct,
remember
yeah.
their bit.
Yeah, sure. I understand that, but I think that in my eyes, anybody that's speaking on a stage needs to interact.
Well, next time I talk, I'll try that, bro. Next time I'm on, which will be
The other
for-
thing that
till
we discovered
probably Christmas.
just
and then I'll do it,
recently
yeah.
is having 2 people on stage at the same time. Doing when you came on and talked about Pattaya 1, there was another guy with you.
Yeah.
Was it?
It was Mark there.
Mark. Okay.
Yeah.
And I know you didn't do that too because Niels was on stage as well. But
Yeah.
but we've discovered that doing an open forum with 2 people on stage
It's better.
great. Because if you have got a little video that you want to prepare, you can chat while you're trying to find the damn thing. You know,
Yeah.
Or a
I mean,
problem.
that's another thing as well. People that are coming to do their presentation, they bring presentation videos, surely, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot
Well,
do. A lot do.
slideshows mostly.
Okay, all right. Visas, where are we with visas? What's new in the visa world?
Oh no, he never does anything on pictures.
Can I just scratch me?
Is it getting... I bet we've been on a while now. This has got to be the longest show, hasn't it?
Yeah.
What are we on?
We're 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Wow.
We've only paid for an hour and 25. Hurry up, lads.
Already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see how it goes?
Gosh,
When you've got interaction?
True.
and it's small fee too.
Yeah, but they might want the fees cheaper if you think it's that quick.
I'll tell you what, the monkey outside, he stops pedaling around about 7. so if the lights start flickering, you know that he's knackered.
Dave, all I can tell you about the visa world at the moment is, and it'd be very quick, 2 things. The visa structure within Thailand is the same.
Great.
Nothing's changed. Okay, so we don't have to worry about anything, any guys that are actually here already. They have said that people who go away on retirement visas at the moment, if they have to come back, as long as they've got 6 months left on the retirement visa that they've already got, they can come back in on that. If not, they will have to get an OA visa or a 90-day O visa from a Thai embassy before they come back.
Okay. All right.
And then into quarantine. Okay, so that's pretty much the first thing. As far as tourists are concerned, throw a hat in.
Yeah.
Get a raffle ticket.
Changing all the time.
Daily, mate. Absolutely. I mean, you know, normally I do a segment on the TV. Yeah. I've had to pull that because the information that I give on the day,
Yeah, it's different from the day it comes
and
out.
this runs a month. So by the time that the month's finished,
Yeah, I understand
it's bad news. It's old news.
Yeah.
And I've had complaints about this, so I've had to stop that. But
One thing on your website, one thing that I think will be good is live updates.
yeah,
Live updates, which you can do that pretty easy on the visa side of it. You can do the live updates. If you're over there and you get a bit of information from over here, is you type it in, it's bang, it's on there, it's straight there.
yeah.
Because it's if you go onto the Thai one and you look what the latest one is, it's a month ago.
That's right,
It's
correct.
terrible, and that's the gov one.
I mean, the last thing I read was this minister isn't talking to that minister. That minister's not talking to this minister. It's a mess.
Yeah,
I mean, the first tourists are coming in. Is it 25th of October? I think they'll be coming from China.
surprise.
Yeah, there's still quite a lot of people coming in from the UK and stuff though, who've got wives and children here.
Yes.
there is still a lot of people in
And
quarantine.
there's a lot of people coming out of quarantine now, of course, because
Yeah,
they've spent
there
their
is.
80 grand and they've got bangers and mash, and now they're out.
There is, but let's say, for argument's sake, there's 2,000.
Oh yeah,
That's a pimple on a gorilla's ass in Pattaya.
I understand
You're not even gonna see these people because most of them, I would say, are probably not party animals anyway. They've got wives and kids. They just wanna relax or go somewhere else.
So what do you think of the new foreign tracing app that they're trying to come in with
I don't
to
think.
trace where the foreigners are going? I mean, that's just another nail in the coffin. I mean, that's what do you want to do with this? Where do you want to go? Where does it stop?
Exactly. I mean, who's talking to who? Because I mean, immigration already had the special car with the computer, and every house they passed told them whether there was a foreigner in there or a foreign passport in there at one stage. there's no need really for... One thing I will say, and I found out this week, people who are working without a work permit, be very careful. The immigration don't really need to find the people themselves. What we've noticed is that maybe some jealous person is taking photos on the phone of somebody doing something they shouldn't be and sending it online.
Well, that's been here that's been around since I come here.
Sending it online.
Yeah, nice.
But people don't know that, Dave. People think they just get grabbed. It doesn't work like that.
No,
because
we know that.
they haven't got the manpower to do that. But apparently it's happening more and more and more now. And it's as shall we say, the work and the money goes less, there's going to be more people jealous.
Of course there is, and people are going to look for different avenues of pushing people out or doing what they have to do to make the place bigger.
Well, I was at the gym last Saturday. Saturday before, no disrespect, and I won't mention any names or anything, but there's a guy opposite a Falang, up a ladder with a drill, putting a sign up. And I'm thinking, on the main road, on Cowtall, and I'm thinking, what are you doing? You're just asking for trouble. Things like that you can't do. I mean, you've got that as a question.
Well, that was one of my questions over here, of course. I mean, well, actually, it wasn't one of my questions. It was from somebody. I said to ask Brian this, and you guys probably know, and that is, of course, in Thailand. I mean, what are a few of the jobs? What are permitted, non-permitted jobs by foreigners? Foreigners can't do the job, but is there certain things that they're not allowed to do? Full stop.
Anything to do with the law, obviously, they can't do. Because all law has to be in Thai language and written. Most foreigners don't come in with Thai language, obviously.
Right.
You can't do any of the peasant work, farming work, agriculture, anything like that. And
basket weaving.
I just whip the missus, don't worry about that.
When the immigration measure...
Sorry, Brian, go on.
When the immigration measure what you're doing, the way in which they do it is they say, could a Thai be doing this? Are you taking away the rice
Absolutely.
bowl?
And being up a ladder with a drill and putting the sign outside is a Thai's job, so be careful.
You can't look at it by saying, well, I can do it better. That's got nothing to do with it.
No.
Are you taking away the rice bowl?
It's sure.
It's the old...
They don't like you being in the medical profession.
No.
They don't like you having pharmacies, this sort of stuff, This is what the Thais are the best at, as we know,
and you can't be Prime Minister.
No, and if you've got a child and they're 50-50, if they go into the army, they will never up rank.
Yeah.
No, that's not racist, is it?
Well,
but we won't talk about that.
No. Won't talk about that. I mean, it's
there was a time when if the child had a dual nationality or a dual parentage, they wouldn't take them in the military, but they changed.
Serious, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they worked out they were better boot cleaners.
That's one thing. That's one thing with what I do with the news being in English and the website being in English, and we report the news in English and all that. That's why when the new visa came out that allows you. Originally, we had the visa where you had to stay in your building and that's it. You couldn't go anywhere and that. Yeah.
Oh, the work
which was a pain in the arse for us doing the news, and then eventually they came out with a new one that now allows us to go anywhere and do what we have to do with the news. I mean, but farming. Yeah, but taking away a Thai's job, I understand. And some people doing what they're doing, pushing it to the limit and then get caught and then go, why have you done this, and then complain, then I can understand where they come from.
One of the questions you were going to ask was about work permits and visas.
That was Mr. Murray. He said basically ask. I can remember this one. He said ask Darren about the work permit and visa situation. When I first came to Thailand, he says I remember when they ran tandem. Is that right? When they ran together. What's the situation now on getting one, and how are they affected now? In what way?
They don't tend to run together.
Okay.
For reasons either the labour office are faster than the immigration or vice versa, depending on when your visa, because normally most people are coming on a 90-day B that needs extending for 1 year. So the labour office will normally give you 1 year from the day they stamp it. Okay, so that it doesn't run in tandem with your visa. Now, I get asked this question a lot, and I get asked about businesses and work permits and visas. Okay, opening a business, first of all, only invest on what you can afford to lose. Okay, don't invest on something that you expect to make $1 million. Okay, that's the first thing. That's what I always tell my clients, and I always got told. And the second thing is, do your background on a work permit, because a work permit is a nice thing to have, but it's not when the bills come in. Okay, now you can go to any lawyer, and a lawyer will do a work permit for you, and they'll say, there you go, mister, there's your blue book. Now they're electronic, you know, they're not blue booked anymore. Off you go. But they don't explain about you've got to pay VAT, tax, social security, company tax at the end of the year. They don't explain this. Now, I got caught with this 14 years ago. I mean, I got slapped with a VAT bill for 80,000 baht.
But you're VAT registered, yes?
Yes, for 80,000 baht. Now, the problem was that no company really in Thailand, anything that you buy, the companies are not VAT registered.
Correct.
So you can't claim your VAT back.
Correct.
So 9 times out of 10, you're paying 100% VAT back.
True.
Okay. No, your accountant will sort that out. But what I'm saying is, most people that have this idea of having a work permit and work in the shop or whatever themselves, take into consideration how much money you have to earn before you start making a profit. Now, I think an average work permit with all the bills and the tax and everything and your staff, social security, you're probably, and renewing, you're probably looking at 200,000 baht a year to hold that work permit in tax per month and everything else, per year in a 1 year period. Now, you got to look at that and say, okay, by the time I paid me 20,000 baht a month rent, and I paid that for my work permit, do I think coffee and donuts is going to cover that? You know, and this is what I say to my clients: it's not getting the work permit that's important; it's can you pay for it after.
Is there any other option in Thailand though? There isn't, is there? On working, there's only that. There's only the B business visa and the work permit, isn't there? That's correct. I mean, as a married person, can you not go out there and do stuff? No,
we can't. Obviously, we can't talk about the dark side, but the legal side.
Yeah, sure.
You should have a work permit.
Yeah,
and the work permit's not for you, of course. It's for your company.
That's for the company. It belongs to the company. Yeah,
and people don't realise that. They think they can use it.
No, it's your passport from the company to work.
Yeah,
you know, once you leave or you give in, that passport belongs to that company. It's down to the company to give it back.
During COVID, they got tripped up over that. We can't afford you anymore. Go out. Oh, I'll see my visa out then.
Yeah.
No, you won't. You got 7 days.
Does that's one thing that's one thing. If they do get out of their work permit, does that still affect on the B visa that they've only got a certain time to change it?
7 days.
Yeah.
They've only got 7 days to change it from B visa to whatever visa.
It's a slight difference between the first visa and the extension, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
Normally, if you go to immigrant, let's say you get sacked or whatever, and it's the 1st of November, okay? Normally, you would take that letter down to immigration. If you should always, 2 things. Number 1, you should make sure that your HR department has given your work permit back. So you take a copy yourself of the work permit, okay? And at the Labour office, they will give you a piece of paper to say that everything's okay. Boom. Which, the work permits were given back, and you staple that in the back of your passport, because that's telling your future employer that all the tax was paid.
Yeah, sure.
Without that piece of paper, you don't know.
Right.
You're blind. Okay. So your HR, you shouldn't. You should get that, and with that, a copy of that, a letter from your employer. You can go to immigration. They'll cancel your visa and bang you straight onto something else.
All right. Okay.
And if you had a work permit and you're working and you just skip out and you don't do anything, are you blacked from coming back?
What you mean? You just go?
You just go and don't cancel your work permit,
cancel
right?
anything.
Or would it just run out, or what?
If you're, let's say for argument's sake, you have paid your tax up to when you went,
Okay.
then they'll just cancel it.
Yeah, I would have thought that. I mean, but if the tax owed, they're going to bump you for that when you come back. Sure.
Because now I think it's between, I think it's 6 months now they check that tax has been paid up to date before they'll renew a work permit.
All right.
Tax? What is that?
You don't want to know, mate.
You don't want to know.
I don't have a work permit. I don't know.
Have you enjoyed it today?
And can I have the last thing?
No.
Go on. Go on.
Always gets the last carrot, doesn't he? Let's give it. Let's give it.
Because I'm not finished on the work permit.
Oh, are you? Okay, sorry.
No, because as a foreigner, you are employed by the company to make a difference on the company. This is why Brits have to make 50,000 baht a month. Yeah. Okay. Now in these times of COVID, nobody's really making 50,000 baht a month, but you still got to pay the tax.
True.
So
absolutely true.
You still got to pay the tax on it.
But they did. The government, when it comes to the tax on self-employed people, companies like ourselves, yeah, they've reduced it to 1.5%.
Yes.
So they have put it down. So it's now 1.5% now.
But it's the VAT that's the killer.
I don't. Yeah, we don't do them kind
There
of
is
things.
another question. It's nothing to do with what.
Yeah,
we're talking
I tell you
about.
what, you're enjoying this now, aren't you?
Why is the baht so high when the interest rates paid on the bank account has gone down from 1.15 to 0.32?
Ow. Yeah. Interesting,
It hasn't
Bobby.
affected the
Stayed
baht.
strong through that, huh?
It hasn't affected the baht.
So
anywhere else in the world, if you
So bank loans have gone
rates,
down, yeah? Bank loans have gone down to 0.3.
No, yeah, 0.336. I took my wife's
From like 1.25, 1.3.
deposit book in, and that's what they gave her.
Wow.
It went from 500 a month they were paying her for a deposit account to 192.
Oh,
Not a month, 3 months.
okay.
And I mean, what's the point? But why hasn't that affected the country's economy? Anywhere else in the world, if you put the interest rates down,
Absolutely. Good
Well,
point.
Depends who's pulling the strings, Bri.
We speak about this every week. You know, the country's in turmoil. There's people starving to death. There's 20 million people unemployed, and they're talking about building bridges at 800 billion baht. You know, and doing ferry ports for 200 billion and stuff like that. And you think, oh, hang on a minute, who's printing this shit? You know, where's this money coming from?
People that sit, and we know, we're not going to get political, but people that sit in chairs and get paid for sitting in chairs who make very bad decisions. I don't know what planet they're on.
in the so-called West, you have your politicians who are on a temporary job. They usually only do it for a few years. Behind them are all the civil servants that actually know what's going on and prime them, and they do that.
I'd love to be in Parliament.
Here it doesn't work like that.
I'd love to be in Parliament in the UK. £300 a day to go to sleep. You're joking, mate. It's brilliant. I love it.
Social distancing.
Social distancing. Guys,
We're socially distant.
have you enjoyed it?
As always.
Yes.
It's nice to have you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome anytime. Bring anybody you want. Okay. Try and leave him out if you can. All right. We'll give it a rest. You know what I mean? He's been on
Right,
switches.
just before we finish, give us the details about the EXPAT Club when they meet.
Yep. Give him which is the website? Website name?
The website name, right, is the Pattaya
EXPAT Club.
The Pattaya Expats Club.info.
.info.
Definitely.
Okay.
.info.
There's a door there that I'm going to tell you after the show.
Okay.
Okay. And yours, my friend, is?
What?
Darren.
You keep telling me it's your.
It's Dave. You met Dave?
You met me. And you.
I've just been talking for 2 hours. My brain's gone to sleep.
You see what I mean?
And your brain's nicked one of your chickens.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, dear,
your website does.
Oh, www.keyvisatathailand.com.
Good. And it's been great to have you in here. Bobby, it's been nice today, yeah?
You too, guys. Thank you.
Good. Thanks for your information, guys. You're welcome anytime. And, of course, people go to them websites, have a look what's new, and, of course, go to the EXPAT website and also look out for the new ones that's going to come online very, very soon. And you can get there, and hopefully we'll bring some new people down, and you can smile when we bring them down, eh?
Yes, I will.
How's that? Okay, thanks, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Talking Heads podcast live from Pattaya, Thailand with your host Dave D. Join us weekdays. Check out all the latest updates on talkingheads-podcast.com.